Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Richardson and I'm the WCPW review guy, and am I the only one who thinks they really should bring back Halloween Havoc? Fucking too late now, no mercy, hell in cell, no Halloween Havoc. Anyways, this is the WCPW Refuse to Lose review. Thought I was going to get that all tongue tied. I did pretty good on that one actually. Pat myself on the back. I can't even reach back. I'm too fat to even reach back there. I might want to try. So right off the bat, let me just go ahead and throw out this was the very first WCPW pay-per-view, and right off the bat, I was skimming through Twitter after I watched the event, because once again it aired 2:30 here in the States, and I was an adult. I had adult things to do. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was working, and I had some errands to run, bills to pay, shit like that. Grocery shopping, bought me some Lunchables. I'm a 31-year-old man who still eats Lunchables, so I didn't get a chance to watch it, but because I was planning on watching it today, but I was lucky enough that when I got home, last night, I was like, shit, let me check out the What Culture extra thing, and I checked it out. I was like, oh shit, it's right there, and I clicked on it. But I did read, a lot of people who watched it, I guess, live streaming. I guess it was horrible, like not the event, but just the streaming service itself. And I just think everybody should calm down just a little bit. It was their very first pay-per-view. They're working the bugs out, The other thing is, with me, like once again, I got I subscribed to the extra. So like when I watched it, even with the thing, I did have some difficulty. I won't lie about that. There was some problems even with, the replay, I guess you can call it, or whatever you want to call it. However, I can still enjoy the pay-per-view, as was. It was a little frustrating at times. I'll go through just my experience real quick. Turned it on, first, there it is. I click on it. Refuse to lose. Let's do this. And it pops up the screen, and of course, it says the time is like 3 hours and 18 minutes. And I was like, sweet, fucking sweet, 3 hours and 18 minutes of wrestling, awesome. And I hit play, and the WCPW logo comes up and just starts moving around like that. And that's it. And I was like, well, maybe the sound's messed up. That sucks, because, maybe I'll have to, I don't know. I was like, maybe I'll have to, come back later or something like that. Maybe they're talking right now, but then it just kept doing it. And I literally sat there for a minute, because I was just like, well, maybe they're talking right now, and that's it. And I realized, no, it's just like that's a loading screen or some shit. I don't know. So I skipped ahead, 3 minutes in, still. It's like, what the fuck? Went ahead 5 minutes. Finally said fucking just clicked further ahead, and I see Bret Hart. I was like, well shit, and then it does start somewhere. So but I had to go back. And the thing is, on YouTube, like right now, if you use to go, typically on the bottom, you scroll over the time bar, you can see the pictures of what's coming, what's coming up next. Throughout the video, none of that on here. So I was just blindly where the fuck's that? So I finally found it. It's 9 minutes in. It actually started. So I was like, all right, no problem. Now the picture quality was a little fuzzy, and once again, I don't know if it's just my internet, but once again, I've been hearing a lot of people complain about. So maybe it probably wasn't, but it was a little fuzzy at times. Not throughout, but just at times a little fuzzy. But once we got started, no problem. Until about the Doug Williams-Cody Rhodes match. And then did this thing where it would just kind of skip ahead 3 seconds. Here's the punch, and then it skips to the guy already on the ground, and dude, and I was like, what the fuck? And it did that multiple times. And it wouldn't just be at first it wouldn't right after another. It was a minute would go by, and then it would do it again, and then again. And it's like, what the fuck? And then it started doing it constantly. So went ahead and I tried to rewind. I tried to pause it, maybe need time to buffer or whatever. I went forward with it, and finally I refreshed it, and it took care of it. I was like, sweet. And then it maybe happened 2 or 3 times afterwards, but it didn't happen too bad. Whenever it messed up, I'd have to refresh. Wasn't too bad. Where it started getting a little frustrating was the double main event, first WCW World Title match. Match is going. Connors has Kirby up on the turnbuckle, and as he's yelling in his face, it just cuts to the ring announcer from earlier introducing the match again. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was going again. And it was like it restarted the match, and we're re-showing you what happened. And I was like, fuck no, because I don't know how long that match was. Once again, you don't have the ability to see, you know. And I didn't want to click too far ahead because I was afraid it would spoil the ending for me. Like I didn't want to like actually click and be like, oh shit, that's the end of the match. So I had to like kind of like quickly skim like 10 seconds at a time just to make sure, you know. And so that was the first thing. Once it got caught up, it was okay. Once again, you still get a little bit, you know, glitchy here, glitchy there with the picture, the sound, whatever. And I'm not talking too much sound like on their end because I know they were probably having sound problems too. Because I know, like whenever I know Alex Shane had problems at one point. At one point, it sounded like his mic was just off in the very beginning. And then of course, whenever they would go over to promos, like they would go over like commentary. And it's like, well, let's, you know, check out this feud right here. And then the promo would start, like, very soft. And then it would just, like, the sound blast. And I was like, holy shit, turn that down. And I could deal with that. That wasn't a big deal. But we got to the main event, Hendry and Angle. And it just kept messing up. Like, I had to refresh, like, 5 or 6 times. And at one point, I refreshed, and it's going. And, like, the sound was off. It's like you would hear someone get slammed. And then 3 seconds later, oh, someone got clothesline, they hit the mat with no sound, but you know, or you know, you hear, you know, 1, 2, kick out, and then you see someone go for a pinfall, and then, you know, with no sound, 2 count, and they kick out. And I won't lie, it got a little frustrating there, but I kept, in the back of my mind, you know, this is their very first pay-per-view. Now here's the thing, if, you know, I'm watching something on the network, you know, WWE, and it's fucking up, guess what, I'm pissed. I shouldn't be pissed because I don't really pay for the network. I just use my friend's password and shit. Because fuck you, Vince. Don't tell him. He's the kind of guy, he would send Triple H to come here and just disconnect my shit. I don't need that kind of trouble. But no, you know, I expect good quality from them because guess what? They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Yes, they should have their shit, you know. But guys, the What Culture crew, they're just YouTubers. They're like me and you. That's it. Yeah, they're a little more successful, a little more well-known. They got a little bit more money, but not much. And this was the only pay-per-view they've done so far, and yes, there's a few little bugs, little glitches, little bumps in the road. It's okay. But people were like losing their shit. People were losing their shit anyway, the fact they had to pay for this. And I don't get that, because I'm like, you know, we're paying just, you know, if you do the What Culture extra, it's, you know, it's $7 a month. You know, it's like you go see like your favorite punk band, local punk band. They're not getting paid dick. They make their money, you know, selling t-shirts. And I always try to support it, you know, I'm like, here's my 20. A little much for a t-shirt, but guess what, fuck it, I'm here to support you. That's how I feel about WCPW. You know what? I'll throw that 7 their way. If everybody chips in, they can keep providing it. And guess what? Get more money, they can probably fix these bugs, so the next pay-per-view rolls around, don't have a problem. But I don't know. But like I said, the overall, you know, viewing spend, like I said, it was a little aggravating at times, but it did not really take away from the event, which I'm about to get into right now. First things first, you know, we're still in Newcastle. I'm not sure where they was at. I don't know if it was the, they may have said it, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the O2 Arena. I mean, I know some places I've been to, they have like a small room for like the bands, and then they have a bigger room for like the bigger bands or whatever. So I don't know if there was 2 areas. The place was huge. Dude, sold out crowd, fucking awesome. Hot, like always. I loved it. Wish I could be there. I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could be there. And then the commentary team, I loved it. I was kind of nervous going in. I mean, not nervous, but I guess I was like wondering, like, how are they gonna fit with this? Because Jim Ross, I didn't think would be a problem. You know, he worked for WWE during some dumb shit. I mean, seriously, he worked for WCW during some dumb shit. Like, he's called dumb shit, and he can roll with it. Like, he'll make you believe that this ain't dumb. This is okay. This Chamber of Horrors match, WCW, this is okay. This is wrestling. Cornette was the one I was kind of worried about. You know, he's so vocal about flippy shit. I was kind of hoping Will Ospreay was there. I would have loved to see that kind of. But I was like, man, Kirby does a lot of comedy stuff. Because that's another thing. Cornette hates comedy in matches. He just does. He lets certain shit slide, but for the most part, he's just like, you know, he's a grouchy old man. I love Corny. I'm a huge Cornette fan. But, you know, I just know how he is when it comes to wrestling. Like, me and him would not get along if I was, like, telling him some of my favorite stuff, because he'd be like, that's bullshit, that ain't wrestling. And then I'd be like, oh, sorry, Corny. Relax, I'm sorry. So I was really curious how he was going to, you know, take to this. And he did very well. They both did. Starting off, it seemed like almost like a 2-man team, because it seemed like it was mostly JR and Jim Cornette. However, Alex Shane was the perfect third man. He really was. And to the point, really, it almost became more him and Cornette at the end, and Jim Ross was kind of like the extra guy. And I liked it. It flowed smoothly. They all held their own. It was great. I will say, in my personal opinion, I do prefer Alex Shane and Dave Bradshaw as the team. I think at the next big pay-per-view, save a little bit of money. All due respect to Cornette and Jim Ross, I say let Bradshaw come in there and let those two guys do their thing, because I prefer their commentary. I really do. But it was nice to have Cornette and Jim Ross, and, especially Jim Ross, because it took me back to my childhood and growing up watching WWF. So great to have him back there. But overall commentary, good. All right, so the show kicked off with Bret Hart coming out. And he was announcing that they're going to start the new tag division, and there will be new tag titles, which they showed. And that did that, and he talked for a couple seconds, but then James R. Kennedy and Prospect came out, circled the ring, threatened him a little bit, and then as they got in the ring, Slater and Moss and Prince Amin ran out and fought him and chased him off. The segment didn't really do anything for me one way or another. I don't like just special appearances. Like, that's something WWF does a lot. And, like, Eric Bischoff being there as a special guest general manager, it affected storylines. He had a reason being there. But if you're just going to be there just to promote, here's these new titles, like, it has nothing to do with him at all. It's like, you just paid for him to show up there and just walk around the ring for a couple seconds. And he didn't really look like he was that enthused to be there. That was the other thing that kind of irritated me, because I'm just like, dude, like, people are, like, going nuts for you right now. I don't know. I'm not a big Bret Hart guy. I love Bret Hart the wrestler. Love Bret Hart the wrestler. I will never say a bad thing about Bret Hart the wrestler. Bret Hart the man is just bitter, dickish. And I mean, don't get me wrong, dude's had shitty luck. I mean, especially 99 to like 2002 or whatever. Horrible fucking luck. And I sympathize for that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like, I've seen other wrestlers, who are in horrible situations, and they don't seem as bitter as Bret Hart. I don't know. Anyways, it is what it is, but he was there, add nothing to the actual program except for, hey, I'm Bret Hart. These are tag titles. And and once again, I understand he can't get physical, but it's like, then why have him in a wrestling ring? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna have a little special match, if he's gonna be at the convention, great. Do a little promo there, have him talk good about the product, whatever. You don't really need him out there. I'm just saying. Sorry. This is a positive pay-per-view review, so don't let that scare you away. Okay, so first match. I'm really dragging this out. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump into this. A Noah wrestling rules match. The Noah promotion. It was Joe Coffey against Minoru Suzuki, if I'm pronouncing that right, with El Desperado in his corner. And the Noah rules is literally just regular wrestling match, but the pile driver ban is lifted because of Noah. It's not illegal. And right when they said that, I was like, well, that's how the match is going to end with pile driver. The match itself, I'm not going to lie, because I stated during my preview that I was afraid, this guy's gonna come in, just kind of bulldozer Joe Coffey, and I didn't like that, because that's what happened with Moose and him. It was an okay match between Joe Coffey and Moose, but it's just like, it did nothing. It didn't make Coffey look any better, and I can't get behind Moose. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves chanting his name. I'm sorry, just not feeling it. So I was kind of afraid it was gonna be like that, but dude, this match was fucking awesome. Like, it literally, it set the stage perfectly. Hard hitting. Dude, I fucking loved it. And dude, he seemed like a credible threat. Like, he did. Like, I felt like, even though Coffey is definitely bigger than him, I bought it. Like, as soon as, Suzuki's, laying in these chops and hits and shit and strikes, I was like, well, dude, fuck, this is getting real right now. I love it. And, of course, El Desperado was constantly interfering, which was great. Coffey did lose to a pile driver. Big shock. However, I was okay with that. Like, honestly, whenever, after the match was over, and I'm sitting there I'm like, no, that was great, because it was a great match. They both looked strong. Dude, like, Coffey held his own. And starting off, I noticed he wasn't hitting quite as hard. Like, Suzuki was fucking laying into him the entire time. And Coffey really wasn't starting off. But dude, I think after a while, he's just like, dude, I'm getting fucking hit. I'm sick of this shit. I'm bringing it back. And dude, he brings it back, dude. So, I mean, both guys look strong in this match. Even Coffey, who lost, still looked great. And that's what, that's the point of it. You want to make both guys look good. That's what wrestling's all about. Make everybody look good. Everybody shine. And so, yeah, he lost. But you know what? I don't think it hurt him none. So, great match. Next match is the triple threat match to crown the first ever WCPW Internet Champion. El Ligero, Travis Banks, and Alberto El Patron I think the big story going into this one was the stabbing incident that happened last weekend with Alberto El Patron, which was fucking crazy, right? Now, as of right now, because when I'm at work, I'm on my phone watching videos and shit. Now there's a little controversy behind that. They don't quite know what happened, but either way, I was like, fuck it. I don't know what happened. Dude's bandaged right now. I saw the pictures. Either way, kudos. He's in the ring. He's doing his thing. Triple threat match was great. Now, the ending came exactly how I thought it would, because that was the reason I felt like Travis Banks was in the match. Like he was attached to the match basically because El Ligero was going to win, and I guess Patron didn't want to put him over, and it's like, here's the best way to have him win without actually losing. Throw Travis Banks in there. And that's exactly what happened. However, the match itself was phenomenal. Fast-paced, hard-hitting. They all hit their spots great. Dude, Patron looked great. Like, he looked strong. Like, you wouldn't have guessed he got stabbed. And once again, that's in the air right now. But whatever. It looked excellent. In fact, it was one of those things like, you knew Ligero was going to win because, he's a mainstay. He's not, one of these big stars who's coming over, for a weekend to do tapings and then going home. Like, obviously you're not going to lose your title to someone like that or give the title to someone like that. But when I'm watching it, I was like, dude, like, Patron could win this thing. Like, it actually, because once again, I let myself go. Like, the snarky, fucking smart part of my brain just shuts off, and I just enjoy the show for what it is. And I was like, dude, Patron could win this. Patron could fucking win this. And, yeah, it was a good match, but Ligero wins, defeating Travis Banks in the process. And then after the match, Patron, shakes his hand, raises his hand, victory, and Ligero wins a much-deserved victory for El Ligero. Dude, like the hardest working guy on the indie scene. And of course, they mentioned it, and I remember, reading this before, but like, he's wrestled like in, I think 2015, like he had like the record for like the most matches, period. Like, fuck the WWF guys who, yeah, they have a crazy schedule, but dude, Ligero is doing that and more, and, he's one of the faces of WCPW. And he's the workhorse. He really is. Like, the dude's putting it out there every night. And not just him, most of them are too. I'm just saying, but he's the guy who I think we all kind of want to see get the world title push. But then of course you got Hendry and others, and you're just like, well, you gotta give him some. You just can't, And so, perfect guy for this internet title. Can't wait to see great things come from. And I think the reign's gonna be great. I can't wait. So. Next match, it was Doug Williams versus Cody Rhodes. Now, I've mentioned before, several times, like, a lot of these wrestlers that, these people that are adding, they're signing ex-WWE guys, I just don't get excited for because most of them, were huge when I didn't watch anymore. So, like, Damian Sandow and Alberto Del Rio, I didn't give a shit. Like, I hate to say that, but I just didn't care. I was like, Drew Galloway, I don't know who the fuck the guy is. Cody Rhodes came in right as I quit watching. Like, I just remember he was in the whole thing with him and Bob Holly. Like, Bob Holly was kind of taking him underneath the ring, or underneath his wing, training to be his tag partner, and that was like the last of that. Like, I quit shortly after that. Now, just recently I started watching, when I started getting kind of back into the product, I watched some of the Stardust stuff. But the thing is, with WWE, you can't have a good match on TV. It is almost next to impossible because there's just no time, and just everything's rushed, and it's just, it's hard to actually put on like a quality match on TV. So I just wasn't that impressed, but I didn't completely count him out like I did others because I was like, he has that wrestling in his blood. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, he's going to be pretty good. And of course, Doug Williams, like I said, I enjoy his in-ring stuff. But I'll be honest with you, this match had not much build-up. Like, even though like Williams defeated Noam Dar to keep the spot, there was really no other hype beyond that. Like, literally, Doug Williams' whole like keep the foreigners out of the British wrestling scene was already taking place way before he was matched up with Cody Rhodes, so it just seemed like, I don't know, there was really no hype. So if you would have asked me, well, you asked me yesterday before I watched the event, what's like the one match you're not really looking for at all, this would be ranked bottom for me. I didn't really care one way or another. I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I was like, yeah. Watched it, fucking loved it. Oh my god, one of the best matches on the card. And I was like, just blown away. And it wasn't anything like super, it was just great wrestling. The way it should be. Just great fucking wrestling. Two guys, master of the craft, going at it right there in the ring, and it looked great. Not a whole lot of highlights, just a solid fucking match, and Cody Rhodes wins. And yeah, and I'm for that. Like I said, it looked great, and both guys looked good. Like I said, he didn't just run over Doug Williams, and you know what? It looked great. So yeah. The next match was the street fight. Now remember the stipulation: if Adam Blampied loses, he's fired. And yeah, Blampier versus Rampage. Now once again, I love wrestling. I do love wrestling, but I do love sports entertainment as well. And if it's done right, I'm okay with a match like this. Blampier comes out with a suit, loving it already. Briefcase, and of course he offers him like 600 and something pounds. And I think Cornette roughly translates to like $850, which is funny because I mean that's a good sum of money, but it's also very insulting because he's just like, this is more money you will ever see. Rampage, just take the bribe, and sorry about the ribs. Dude, just everything about Blampier is great here, and you just want to see Rampage tear him apart. And Rampage does. Dude beats the shit out of him, brings the table out, but then of course here comes Prospect with James R. Kennedy leading the charge, and beats him down temporarily. And once again, I mean, this match, it flowed. Like it didn't just seem like nonsense. Like it didn't just seem like, I mean, it is chaos. It had like a story progressing. They're beating him down, but then he fights back and takes out all Prospect, gets in there, goes after Blampier, and then of course Big Damo's music hits. Who's been fired because Piccini just doesn't really give a shit anymore apparently. Like and we'll get the Parmesan here in a second. Anyway, so Damo comes out there. He's fighting with Rampage, and of course Blampier low blows Rampage, and now they turn the tides. They kept playing up the fact that Rampage does have busted up ribs, and of course Damo does his running senton twice actually. Second time they had a chair laid out on him and just beat the living shit out. And of course, as Blampier is about to go for the pin, Parmesan comes out and he brings more troops, and of course it's Liam Slater, Johnny Moss, Gabriel Kidd, Joe Coffey. I think Mustache Mountain was out there. I mean, he just brought out everybody like you didn't have a match, I guess. And Joe Coffey, and they all stormed the ring, fought off Prospect and Big Damo, and then they all kind of fade to the back, leaving Adam Blampier and Rampage. And oh my God, fucking sweet. And Rampage goes in there, kicks him right in the dick, and then sets the table up. Funny spot, sets the table up, and goes for a powerbomb, but then of course that table just kind of kicks over. I remember he set the table up, and I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, that looks like it's about to fall over. Like, you better hurt him powerbomb his ass. And it does fall over, but the great thing was the referee's like, I got this. And he fixes it for him, because you know what, the referee's like, I want to see Blampier go through that fucking table too. Fuck it, do it. And one powerbomb later, he sits on his chest, 1, 2, 3, Adam Blampier, done. And that was great. Like, you know what, we ended the storyline. Rampage comes out victorious, as he should. And yeah, we're going to find something for Blampier. Right now, I have my own theory of what could happen, but won't say just yet. I'm going to see how it plays out, because I've been wrong in the past. And these guys always blow my mind. Like, every time I'm going this way, they're going that way. And it's always the better route. They always take the better route. So, but yeah, you know, when he'll be back, I don't know. But yeah, this was the right decision, and it was a good match. Okay, the next match, women's title match. It was Kimber Lee who accepted the open challenge against Nixon Newell. Now every week I do my least favorite match and my favorite match, and for a while there it was kind of hard to pick a least favorite match. Like, I was literally picking it like begrudgingly, like I hate to throw this title on this match because it was a good match. Not the case this week. This was not only my least favorite match, it was just the only match on the card that sucked. And I'm sorry to say that. And I don't mean that mean or anything like that, because I have respect for him, and I'm fighting for the cause. Like, I'm glad. Like, I want to see the women's division being pushed forward, but this match was just so brutal, and it's bad because once again, like, I get it's independent. Like, when you're on the independent scene, you watch independent wrestling, even in your own hometown or whatever. You don't want to be that asshole who is just kind of like snickering when they mess up, because like, dude, they're plying their craft. They're getting better. They're not professionals. Now, you can make fun of the pros all you want when they're on the big stage, because fuck them, they should be good. But in the indie scene, you really shouldn't, because they are trying. They're doing their best. But on a card like this, where everybody is literally, I mean, there's literally almost zero botches. The whole event was just great. And it's hard not to watch this match and be like, oh, because it was sloppy. It was weird because it was like they were trying to rush the match. Well, not necessarily like the match, but like the girls in the ring were rushing, but then it came off with this like really slow, like, I don't know. It just looked really bad. And I'm not sure who Kimberly is. I don't know what her background is, because a lot of these, people were like, former WWE during those years, Daniel, that you didn't pay attention to the show. So I don't know if she's huge or whatever. But Nixon, I've seen her put on good matches. But I've also seen her. I noticed like every match she does that's good is with B. Priestley. And the one time that I didn't quite care for the match was the triple threat match where B. Priestley was not involved. And then here we go, another match where B. Priestley's not involved. And it stunk the place up. To Jim Cornette and Jim Ross's credit, dude, they soldiered on through this. They were hyping us up, like, you know, the match was just phenomenal. And it really wasn't. Like, it was like one of the few times where commentary didn't quite match, you know, what's going on in the action in the ring. And one spot that really just kind of irritated me a little bit, I know, I mean, I shouldn't be like, oh, like, but was I can't remember who hit who first, but like someone hits a German suplex, and they just like stand up from it, and then they hit German suplex, and they just stand up. I was like, you're no selling the German suplexes? Like, I'm sorry, no, that's not a move you can just like, I don't know. And I was just like, really? And I'm waiting for Jim Cornette to like flip that. That's one thing. Like that's another thing. He's like so like no selling a power move like that. He'd blow his fucking life. He didn't. He's a pro, and he went through it. And then the ending was so fucking bad. And they tried to save it, and it just even worse. And then there was a mistake. Okay, so Nixon goes for a Canadian Destroyer, one of the worst Canadian Destroyers I've ever seen in my life. Watch it. In fact, stop watching me right now. Go watch that. Oh my God, brutal. And once again, that's a tough move, and I get it. Like, you couldn't see my fat ass in there trying to pull that off at all, but I'm not trained to. That's not my job. And it was brutal. And so they do it, and it was just awkward. And then, you know, she goes for the pin, and I was like, don't win like this. Like, don't. And they kick out, and I was like, good. You saved that, because then, you know, at least at home where it's like, well, you know, because you know he's covered that up in commentary. You can always be like, well, they didn't hit all that move, and you can tell she kicked out. But then she goes for like a tiger suplex, dragon suplex, tiger suplex, so she, you know, under. But she goes, and Nixon hits the tiger suplex on Kimberly, and good suplex. But then she couldn't quite get the shoulders right. Like, she couldn't get her shoulders down for a pin, and they struggled for like 4 to 5 seconds of just her trying to pin her. It looked, and you're just like, guys, just fucking roll her out and do another move. No, they're just doing this weird thing. Kimberly, obviously, she's kicking and trying to wiggle too, so it's like she's not unconscious, and fuck, she just shook off a goddamn German suplex, so this can't hurt her. So anyways, it's just weird, and then finally Nixon's like, fuck it, and she just lets go and goes for the cover. And then 1, 2, 3. Now here's where it gets even worse, because once she goes 1, 2, 3, the referee, I don't know if he signaled or not, I didn't see him, I'm assuming he signaled, but the bell never rings. So there's this weird, like, she gets up like, yay, but the crowd doesn't even really pop for it, because they're just kind of like, did you win? Did you? And then the commentators, they're kind of like, even like, I think JR was like, well, she won, and Jim Cornette's like, well, did she? Like, I didn't hear a bell. And so it's this weird thing, and then Kimberly attacks her, which should be a post-match beatdown, but now I think the fans are thinking like it's actually part of the match, and even they're just like, your commentators are like, is the match going on? Like, what's going on here? And then of course, you know, they pull her off and they announce, you know, and it was like, it was so awkward and just brutal to watch. And it's brutal to watch because it's not like, I'm not like one of those guys that takes joy. Like, you know, I just remember like when Scott Hall had his very embarrassing incident where he comes up to the ring or Jake the Snake on Heroes of Wrestling, where it's just, I don't get joy out of watching. Like, to me, that's just sad to watch, and I'm just like, dude, this is brutal. And it's the same way here. Like, I don't watch Botchamania because I just don't get into like watching people mess up. Like, fuck it, they messed up. They're pros, you know, whatever. They're doing their thing. But this match was, it works. You're just like, man, these girls are trying so hard to try and get this women's division up and running, and the match was just a mess from bell to bell, or bell to no bell. So yeah, it was just, and I hate to be like, worst match of the night, but it was the worst match of the night. And then of course, you know, post-match beatdown, and then you get away, and you're like, oh fuck. So anyways, that's that. We're moving on. All right, so up next we get the announcement. And I'm super fucking excited about this. Like, I'm so fucking happy about this. Coming to WCPW at the end of November, early December. I guess he's working out weekend. Broken Matt Hardy. Yes! Oh! I literally, I jizzed my pants when I heard that. Like, I popped big time. Popped out my pants. It was an explosion of epic proportion. Big Matt Hardy fan. I'm a big Hardy Boys fan, but I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not just trying to be like a little hipster, like, doing things different. I did like Jeff Hardy better. I think like a lot of people. And I guess even now people do. Because, you know, he did seem more crazy, he had that Daredevil style, whatever. It wasn't until that first time they split up. And Matt went to SmackDown, Jeff stayed on Raw. And it reminded me of the Rockers. Now, don't get me wrong, clearly, WWE was firmly behind Jeff. The fans are firmly behind Jeff, and you can tell that he was going to be the more successful too. And in that sense, he would be the Shawn Michaels, and Matt Hardy would be the Marty Jannetty. But to me, it seemed opposite because Jeff was still just fucking Jeff Hardy. Like, he's never changed being him. He's just generic Jeff to me. And he shows no personality. He just comes out there dancing, like this, painted up, and that's it. And I'm just like, that's your gimmick, that's your shtick. Whereas Matt went on to become Matt Hardy version 2.0, something like that, and it was great. And I'm like, he's showing person. He's changed. He's showing, and it was fucking awesome. And then on top of that, like, I'm not saying Jeff can't wrestle, but it's like he relies more on the high-flying, crazy shit. And Matt's more like, no, I'm a wrestler. And and so and at that point, I was like, no, I'm definitely more of a Matt Hardy guy. Of course, the universe disagrees, and everybody's always been like, no, Jeff's the best, Jeff's the best. But it's just like, I don't know. And then, like, quit watching for a long time. But then when I'm getting back into it, the big thing that popped out was that Final Deletion. And I'm watching it, and dude, Matt Hardy, don't get me wrong. Final Deletion is in that it's so bad it's good category. Like, I don't think it's brilliant genius. I think it's just funny, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm entertained, so that's why I'm like, this is wrestling. I'm loving it. But Broken Matt Hardy is a great character, and then you just got generic Jeff. Like, Jeff Hardy's not changing. He's like, oh, I'm Jeff Hardy. I don't know. And then he can't even leave the States. So I'm glad. Like, I don't fucking want Jeff Hardy here. Give me Broken Matt Hardy and I'm happy. I just hope he brings Vanguard 1. That's all I'm saying. I just want ridiculous segments. I want it all. Vanguard 1, Senor Benjamin, Broken Matt Hardy. Boom. Just give me some segments of those three and I'm happy. So yeah, Broken Matt Hardy come WCPW and I am fucking thrilled. This ranks up there for me with like Kurt Angle. Like, seriously. And I think I popped a little louder than I did when I heard Kurt Angle was coming. Just saying. I like Kurt Angle better, but it's a big shock and I'm just happy, so boom. And then the next segment was fucking great. So throughout the night they were kind of switching off ring announcers. And SoCal Val was one of the ring announcers. So here comes, Jack the Jobber, who, he finally did shake Primate last week. Primate had a run of Hendry, so Jack Jobber can sneak away. And of course he sees SoCal Val, so he goes get some flowers at the gas station, comes in, hits on her, and I just love it. Like, I love this Jack the Jobber. Like, Jack the Jobber, just the whatever manager, I did not care. But now this past month, he's just been hitting on anything with a vagina, and I love it. Like, he's just so awkward. It's hilarious. So SoCal Val turns him down, but then fucking Primate shows up, and Jack Jobber just forgot to run. He just fuck, and dude gets speared, and it was beautiful. I love it. And dude, he took it like a champ. Jack the Jobber took it like a champ. He redeemed that ridiculous punch he took from Big Damo back at Built to Destroy, where he kind of grabs his beanie as he goes down. Watch the WTF moments of that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because King Ross did not let it slide. But anyways, took it like a champ, and then of course Susie Kendi came out, and she's not necessarily trying to protect Jack Jobber, I don't think. I think she just stopped the car and he sharked the madness. And dude, Primate snatches her by her hair. Taz Mission, I don't know what he actually calls it, but I'm calling it Taz Mission. Takes her down, chokes her out. And dude, I'm just fucking yes. Security runs out there. He tears through all of them. And that was the segment, and it was great. And what I loved about it was, after that segment, it's camera shot, here's the ring. The commentators are, in the background. But then between the camera and the commentators, it's just a sea of bodies. Jack the Jobber and all the security guards are just lying down on the floor. And I'm just dude, that is fucking awesome. Great segment, great segment. Better than Bret Hart. Just saying, I'd much rather have two of those segments, or just one of those segments, than have Bret Hart come out there and mope around the ring. My opinion. Leave your hate down below, it's alright. So anyways, time for our double main event. WCPW, I'm calling it a world title, god damn it, but everybody's like, it's a heavyweight title, or just the WCPW title. Fuck you. World title. Martin Kirby versus Joseph Connors. And dude, tell you right now, dude, the pop for Kirby was incredible. In fact, I mean, it was insane. It really was. Pro Kirby crowd, obviously, pink glow sticks. But dude, this match had, and that's what I love about this pay-per-view. And this is why I feel like, you know what? This feels like it should be on pay-per-view, because it had that big match feel. It had a main event pay-per-view quality feel to it. And dude, I just love Kirby in this, because, you know, we've seen Kirby, even when he's getting his world title shot, you know, he's demanding, he's still like, you know, even he's getting his shit together, he's being serious, he's winning matches, he's still fun-loving, goofy, you know, Martin Kirby. But dude, he's all business in this match. Look at his fucking face when he gets in the ring. Dude, like, it's like, this is the most important thing. He's been fighting all this time, and he's finally reaching the top of the mountain, and it's within reach. And dude, like, it's just determination. Connors, same thing, comes out there, man, and he's just, I love heel Connors, and I just love this psychotic look on his face when he's looking at the title, and they clashed, and it was awesome. The match was just excellent. You know, they hit all their moves, all their, you know, signature spots. Here's the thing. Like, I knew as soon as Martin Kirby hit the super kick and it hits the referee, I was like, well, fuck, Kirby's not going to win. Now, in my preview video, if you watched it, you know, I kind of figured he wasn't going to win this match. But when I'm watching, and dude, I haven't been this way since I was like a, you know, kid watching wrestling. Like, I just zone out of like the realness of it, or like, you know, the politics, or, you know, it's just predetermined and all that. I zone out. Like, I'm sucked into the story. So I'm like, Kirby's gonna win this, dude. Every near fall, I was like, dude, Kirby's got this. Fuck! Oh, he kicked out. And I love both guys. I'm a Joseph Connors fan, and I'm a huge Kirby fan right now. Like, I've literally, and you can see my evolution. It's not just me jumping on bandwagon. I mean, I've grown to love this guy. It's not just like an overnight, like, oh, he's popular now, I'm his fan. Dude, like, I've just been like, this guy's great. And I just didn't take him seriously until that Ospreay match, which was phenomenal. And just like his rise to the top, I've just grown to love this guy even more. And dude, last night, sitting in my office, computer desk, watching this thing on the laptop, and you know what, dude, I am like literally, I'm popping in my chair. I am like screaming out, yes, no, oh, shit, oh, he almost had him. Like the entire time. And you know what? I don't do that very often. I don't. But this match had me literally on the edge of my seat the entire fucking match. Great. And I was even thinking, you know what? This could be Kirby's night. And everybody was bitching about that too. Everybody was like, not necessarily, they were bitching like, well, Connors can't lose a title because we had 2 title changes within 2 months or whatever. And I'm like, dude, fuck off. Like, fuck the right off. Like, Big Damo was a champion. He was. But guess what? Life happens, and he's moving on to another company. So he had to drop the belt. It happens. And Joseph Connors, I always felt was going to be that transitional champion anyways. Like, it was going to go from him to Hendry anyways. But then Kirby showed up, and I was like, well, maybe this could be it. Like, this could be that transition part. That happens, guys. But everybody's like, yeah. I love What Culture Pro Wrestling. I am turning against the fucking fans in the comments section. Like, I just fucking hate them all. And I'm sorry. If you're watching my channel and you're one of those guys, I do hate you. I'm sorry. I just do. You can hate me right back. It's just leave it down below. Anyway, so as soon as that super kick happened, that referee went down, I was like, fuck! Like, I was like, no! Because I was like, he lost the match. The match is over. He's lost it. Connors goes for righteous kill. Kirby gets out. Low blow. Sable bomb. It's great. And you know what? For a long time, we kept wanting to see him hit the Sable Bomb, and he's finally hit it multiple times now. I just want to see him hit that Zoidberg elbow drop now. And I was like, are we going to get it here? Goes up for the Zoidberg elbow drop, and I knew back in my mind, someone's going to interfere. Now, I honestly, if you would have been like, Daniel, let's lay some money down, who's coming out? I would have said Travis Banks. Like, Banks has got nothing going on right now. He's still a jobber in my eyes. I'm sorry. I know people like him. I don't like him. I mean, I respect the guy. He's a damn good wrestler, but just this character, I don't really give a shit. I was like, Travis Banks will come out there. He's going to interfere, and then we'll have that feud. Give something, Kirby something to do while, the world title picture's doing this thing. And it was fucking Parmesan. Are you kidding me? And dude, I'm like, oh, shock. Like, literally, like, they do this to me every fucking time because, like, even like Built Destroy, the swerve at the end of that. You should have seen that coming a mile away, and maybe many of you did. I didn't. I was literally just like, oh, same thing here. And the signs are all there, and you knew he was going to do, maybe he's going to do something, but I didn't think. I feel like maybe he'd be behind it. He would send Travis Banks out there. Didn't expect him to go out there himself. Dude, he went out there by himself and shoved his ass off the rope. Didn't hurt him or anything. Gets back up, like, what the fuck, Parmesan? And then, of course, here comes Joseph Connor, Lobo of his own, and then Righteous Kill. Pansy. Dude, that was a moment. Not just a WTF moment. I'm talking, that was an actual moment in pro wrestling history for me right there. Dude, that moment where he shoves him off, And dude, the crowd just turned, like violently turned against Adam Pacitti. Like, it's scary. Like, you know, this can turn out bad. Pacitti, you get your ass back to the locker room right now. Dude, glow sticks were like raining down. I mean, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then Connors wins. And you know what? Controversy aside, great finish. Great finish. Because it wasn't just a screw job for the sake of a screw job. Story going into it. And this actually builds stories right here, because Connors is probably going to go on to face Hendry right now. I mean, that's just all there is to it. Hendry will eventually go for that title. And they already got their feud built in too. So this already, you know, the screw job. And then, of course, he attacked him at the concert and everything. So, I mean, that's already pre-made. So that's good to go. And Kirby has been getting on Parmesan's nerves for weeks now. And I mean, not just that, I mean, for months. Like, but it's turning into hatred now. And, you know, Adam Paci's lost control. Like, he's literally at the end of his rope. He's a shitty general manager. Let's just say that right now. You line up the authority figures of the past whatever years. Paci's not in the top anything. The character, not the real guy. The real guy's got his shit together and he's putting on a hell of a show. But the character is just like, he's a pushover. He's a pussy. Constantly getting fucked over. He got bitch slapped numerous times and doesn't do shit about it. Like, the only thing he did to gain retribution was finally he got Damo fired. He didn't even do it. Like, he didn't have the balls to fire him. He was like, you gotta fight this guy. Hope you lose. And then Blampier, same thing, just like, you're gonna fight Rampage. Hope you lose. Like, he doesn't have the balls to just like fire people. He's just like, he's letting people just make their own matches. You know, prospects, I guess they're not suspended anymore. I'm sure they just said, fuck you, we're coming in here anyways, because you're a pussy. And dude, it was too much. And here he is, Kirby, at the top of the mountain. The light's shining on him. World title within reach. And Parmesan couldn't take it anymore. And he pushed him. Holy shit. And, you know, there's probably a McMahon, Austin vibe to this, but I tell you right now, this feels fresh as fuck to me. I love it. And, you know, I can't wait to see where this leads. I really can't. I can't wait. Because I don't think Parmesan's going to, I mean, I hope he doesn't just go full-blown heel. Because that's what I like about these people in what culture pro wrestling. They're not just heels and faces. They're just them. Like, just because now Kirby's a fan favorite and everybody's loving him, the heel commentary, Alex Shane, still loves him. And the face, you know, Dave Bradshaw still hates him. Pacitti, same way. And I just feel like Pacitti's still like, he's still a good guy, but it's just fucking Martin Kirby has just pushed him to his breaking point, and he can't take it anymore. Love it. Fucking love it. Main event time. Joe Hendry versus Kurt Angle. Match of the night. And maybe I'm a little biased because I'm just a huge Kurt Angle fan. I just am. He's one of those I grew up watching. Love him. You know, love his goofiness when he first started out WWE, but I literally love that ruthless aggression angle. Dude, like, he was just fucking vicious, and I loved it. So Hendry comes out, love the song, does a parody of Born in the USA. Great song. I hope they upload it just by itself because I want to watch it again. Comes out, and then here comes Angle, and dude, that pop. And that's the thing I thought was weird was Hendry, who, don't get me wrong, didn't have lack of fan support at all because he was still over. That pop was not as big as his pop normally is. Like, literally, his crowd reaction is usually more deafening. Dude, it's like all that shit's going to Kirby now. And he comes out, decent crowd reaction, but just wasn't that Joe Hendry crowd reaction we normally get. And dude, Angle came out and the place just fucking went nuts. Like, the biggest pop went to Angle, obviously. But Angle comes out and they had their match. And dude, it was just, to start off, it was just an amateur wrestling classic. I loved it. Like, literally, like, I just love good wrestling. And I know, like, you know, I'm going to say the name, it's going to be like, oh, that's a bad name. Grow up, move past it. The match itself, it reminded me a lot of Angle Benoit back in the Royal Rumble. Like, it had that kind of a feel to it. Just a slow, technical build and build and build, and then it kept going. And then, of course, it got less technical and then more, just brawlish and, more, I guess just, standard wrestling. It was just great. Love the fact that, Hendry's hanging with him, hold for hold. When they spell outside, dude, Angle hits him with a forearm smash across the face that I literally was like, holy shit. And dude, like, he hit him. Like, there's no pulling out. He fucking bashed him, dude, because literally, like, 4 moves later, Hendry is still, like, holding his fucking face like, oh, what the fuck? Like, he decked his ass. They get back in the ring, dude, and just keeps escalating. Hendry got out of the Angle Slam, countered that. angle counters, the fall away slam. Loved it. It kept going, and then of course Hendry gets thrown in the ankle lock like twice, but each time was able to counter and roll out of it. And then of course Hendry actually hits the angle slam, which I was just like, what the fuck? Goes for the pin. Of course, Angle kicks out. Angle at one point hits the angle slam from the top rope, and I was like, it's over there. Like I was once again just being a fan. Turning off the critic part, just watching the match, into the match, sucked in, and I was like, dude, Angle's got that one, and Hendry kicked down. I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh shit, we're seeing something special right here. And then when Hendry slaps on the ankle lock onto Kurt Angle, like I came out of the chair again. Like literally, it's like, oh, Good Girl Stray, asked me earlier, and she's like, you should probably do a reaction video of you watching, and I don't like reaction videos that much myself, and that's why I just didn't do one. But because it is those people like overreacting, like, oh my god, oh, I'm running around now, and it comes off very fake and insincere to me. But I was doing that shit during this match, like I was just like, holy shit. And dude, when he slapped that ankle lock onto Kurt Angle, and dude, Angle was trying to tap, and he'd come down, he'd stop himself. Dude, I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna tap. And it's like, in the back of your mind, you would think, logically, like, he ain't gonna tap to his own move, and Angle's not gonna lose tonight. But I didn't care, because I was in the moment, and I was like, holy shit, Angle's about to tap to the fucking ankle lock. And he rolls out, and then of course he counters it and puts his own ankle lock on, pulls him back to the middle of the ring, and then of course he grapevines it. When once he grapevines it, it's over, and sure enough, Hendry tapped out. It was over. Kurt Angle wins. And you know what? Great match. Seriously, from beginning. I will say, I think, the unbiased part of me, Angle has slowed down quite a bit. Now, I haven't seen the guy wrestle since like 06, 07. So, yeah, I noticed it right off the bat. Like, oh, wow, he kind of slowed down. But you know what? Did not take away from the match. Like, literally, it did at all. The only spot in the match where I thought maybe it slowed down quite a bit was he goes for the trip German suplexes. It was like they took forever to get back up to their feet there. It was just like, holy shit. But other than that, the match was great. Favorite match of the night. Like, it was just old school fucking wrestling. It was a main event. Like, and honestly, I know I was more like, no, the WCPW World Title should be the last match, should be the headliner. They made the right choice. Kurt Angle, Hendry was just epic. Hell of a match. And then, of course, after the match, Angle definitely put him over. Like, he was just going through like the list of the greats he's fought. And he's like, and you know what, just like them, you have put me, pushed me to the limit, beyond the limit. You got a bright future ahead of you. And you're just like, dude, this is great. And, dude, and what I loved about was, Hendry is still selling the ankle. You don't know how many times I'd watch, back in the Attitude Era and, Ruthless Aggression Era, like Angle, the ankle lock was just devastating. Like, Ken Shamrock brought it into the WF, but dude, Angle took it and made it his own. And even now, you're just like, you think of ankle lock, you think of Kurt Angle. And he was just slapping on people and having, the referee have to, pull him off. Then you see the guy just get up and kind of walk away, and you're like, what? What the? But dude, Hendry sold it, man. Like, he's still hobbled out of the ring, hobbled back to the back, and I was like, yes, finally. Yeah, and as the end of the show, tell you right now, for all the the haters out there who are bitching about they had to pay $7 for this thing, or I guess $14.99 if you went through the Fight app, which honestly, why you do that? It's fucking cheaper with the Walt Culture Extra, whatever. I'm not a pitch man for them, so whatever. But this was worth it. Like, I don't see how you would plop down 20. Well, I guess you don't do it now because you got the network. But you just the money you would waste on shitty WWE pay-per-views, and would somehow justify it. You'd be like, well, but then like bitch about this. Like, dude, this was it. Like, seriously, one match aside, the one match was horrible. Rest of the event, phenomenal. Like, seriously, not just saying that, not sucking balls, just phenomenal. Yeah, there. If you have not seen it, I urge you to check it out. Once again, I won't deny you'll have to work for it a little bit if you go through the What Culture Extras. I don't know if they fixed it yet or not. Like I said, whenever I watched it, it was 6:30 last night. I'm not sure what time that would be for you guys over there across the pond. But it was still a little glitchy. Got a little aggravating, but it was worth it. And yeah, overall, and I'm sorry this video has gone on so long. There's just a lot to talk about, and I was just super excited. But yeah, seriously, it was phenomenal. Highly recommend it. Best event they've had so far. Best overall big event, pay-per-view, whatever. First pay-per-view, they did it right. So, guys, that's all I got. I doubt they're going to be doing any loaded this week. I mean, I just assume this is, you know, their match or just pay-per-view event of the week. So, I doubt there's going to be any loaded. If they have to spring one on us, I'll be back Sunday to review it. Also, I'll be here Sunday regardless for the unofficial top 10. And, of course, there's going to be some changes because, goddamn, we had a night of wrestling. So, boom. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry the video went super long. I'm sure people actually didn't click on it because they're like, 50 fucking minutes, fuck you, Tubby. I'm not watching this. But the guys who stayed around, thank you so much. You know, you're the reason I do this, so boom. Subscribe, share. You know what I'm doing here. And then, of course, over on Twitter, WCPW Review Guy 1. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That's all I got. Until next time.